Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Hi humans, welcome back to Friday Night Quests. I'm your host and DM, Jay Jones. This episode marks part 2 of our adventure with John Kim from TNT's The Librarians, who is playing the halfling barbarian pirate, Ander Silverfin. Now, before we dive back in, we wanted to thank everyone who listened to the first episode. We got an amazing response from those who tuned in, and special thanks to @HenryScarf, who's just been really awesome, and we thank you. And just like any new podcast, if you like the show and you'd like to help, please consider hopping on iTunes and leaving us a review. Any 5-star rating and review really helps people find the show and allows us to continue doing what we love. With that said, let's get to the game. You find yourself in a tavern.
Oh, we should have checked for traps.
I knew he forgot something.
I think I can reason with him.
You killed his father.
Can I have sex with it?
You could certainly try.
I'm gonna touch a sword.
Don't touch the sword!
The child is evil, right?
Obviously.
I could cast Fireball.
Always cast fireball.
All right, roll for it. Previously on Friday Night Quests. After a bloody bar fight with some disgruntled deep gnomes, our heroes, the members of the Velvet League, meet an old man named Cletus Worryweather, who recruited them to return his library books. Now the brave warrior, Prince Horace Kemp, the young druid, Ysabel Buchanan, the shady wizard Sweeney, and the good-natured pirate, Ander Silverfin, ready themselves to travel to the library in the morning.
To the book prison!
Hold on, I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick.
To the book prison?
The book prison!
To the book prison.
Ander, I want to tell you what I tell every new team member when they join the Velvet League. I don't need you, but I want you.
I don't know what to say to that. That's I've never felt these emotions before. This is amazing. I'm very glad to be part of the what are we called again?
Velvet League.
The Velvet League. Mm-hmm. Very.
All right, everybody, finish your eggs. Let's go.
So you guys finish your eggs. A man comes up to the table to bring you the check. It is in fact Jimmy, the servant or the waiter from the Wizard's Trove. He sees you, immediately has a flashback of just bears, deep gnomes, throwing up on himself, and just like immediately runs and drops the check on the floor.
So it's less a flashback and more PTSD.
Yep, basically.
I'm going to ask everybody, does anybody notice that people seem to have these emotional private moments with themselves when they meet us? Maybe it's just me.
It hasn't been to me. It's all been with you.
It's all in your head, Horace. It's okay. It doesn't mean it's not real.
It's probably because I'm beautiful.
Horace, who we wouldn't imagine has really great empathy, can really just tell other characters what they're thinking.
You just see the world in soft focus.
Person just flashbacks.
There's a nice morning dew when you guys step outside. The sun has come up. It's probably somewhere around 10 or 11.
Cool.
It would have been earlier, but I believe Sweeney slept in. Would Sweeney have slept in?
It's because he's old.
Yeah, he got hit with that dart, and it didn't hurt him at the time, but, you know, he had to come down from that. Also, I think Ander might have also had a slow morning.
It takes me a while to get my hair ready.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Horace, it does take an excellent long time for him to get his hair ready. So now it's hitting closer to noon. So you guys are making your way towards the library. So as you kind of leave the town, as you pass by, you see the Wizard's Trove. Throughout town, as you're walking, by the way, you start to see some of the signs a little bit more. Like I said before, you recognize that eye symbol. This is the symbol for the library, which is known as Destin's Family Library. You've heard of Destin. This is his personal library, one that he built himself off of his own wealth. And this is what everybody comes to town for. They want to...
Destin's Family Library.
It's called Destin's Family Library. Is it a great family library? Well, we'll see, but that's as it's advertised. So you guys make your way through the town. You head towards the hill. You pass the Wizard's Trove. You see Maury in the back just kind of pulling up like some dirt and like dumping like pickaxes into the ground and like quickly burying it over.
Hey, Maury!
I just tap my nose and sort of wink and just sort of nod and walk away. And then I just grab a townsfolk and I just say, "Did you hear about what happened at the Wizard's Trove last night?" And then I just walk away.
and Maury just kind of like looks at you guys and just runs back inside.
Nice bloke.
Seems nice.
So you continue up the path. It starts to wind a little bit as you get closer up. You guys are walking for probably close to about like 15 minutes. Just a nice casual walk. There's like little signs here and there that are like, be sure to check out Destin's family library. It speaks, actually. It speaks just like that. It's a magical sign. So as you guys get up to the top of the hill, in front of you is a grandiose, beautiful entrance to this library. I mean, no expense was spared. The outside is gilded with gold trimming around the edges. There's a great grand door with kind of looks like silver buttons going down the front of it in the shape of buttons. But there are more like kind of like silver caps going down the front, so dozens of these. And directly above the door is a big red sphere. Now, this sphere is kind of jutting out from the wall, and you can see inside this red sphere, it looks like the red is actually kind of a swirling liquid, but it's kind of just moving in a standard pace. And as you guys approach and get a little bit closer, you see the movement in the sphere kind of stop and slow down a little bit, and out from the top, much like an eye, a golden circle drops down from above and to the center of the red circle, like an eye staring down at you.
I nudge Horace towards the door.
I don't care about big spheres with glowing metal parts.
Understandable. I think I know what to do, and so I take out from my backpack the library card that Mr. Worryweather handed me. It kind of matches. Do you see the resemblance?
I really don't.
Oh, man. It's okay, Horace. You're beautiful. I hold up the card to the eye to show that, like, we got the members pass. We belong here.
So the golden pupil, or iris, stares down at the card, and a beam of light shoots out right at the card and just kind of scans it a little bit and disappears and says, "Thank you. May your days be filled with reading." And as it says that, the doors crack and open before you. A kind of a rush of air flows out of the library. It smells pleasant, like lotuses, flowers, deep gnome guts, freshly baked brownies just waft out of the library and welcome you in.
How do you get a library card if you can't enter without a library card?
It's the great paradox of our time.
Yeah. Do you think they actually have brownies in there?
Probably.
Let's
go.
Let's do return our books, though.
So you guys enter in. There's a room that you first walk into. It's kind of like a big oval shape. It's got beautifully painted ceilings. They look like the stars, as well as swirling clouds spinning in the sky. There's some dragons flying around. Like, it's a beautiful tapestry. And the floor beneath you is a nice shined marble. Like, no expense, again, was spared on this place. On your right, there's a sign with a drawing of a very short lizard man with a dog-like face, which you'll all recognize as a kobold. It's a life-size drawing, and there's a line directly above the kobold's head, which says, "You must be this tall to read here." Oh. So, take that as you will.
Is Ander tall enough?
Yeah. Do I go measure myself, or I think I do. I think I'll walk over and stand next to this sign, and I just make it.
So you do. You just, your head is just above, like the tip of your hair kind of fluffs up a little bit, and you're just above the
Good thing
lines.
I'm really hungover, had no time to do my hair, and it just qualifies.
Ander, I'm offended for you that they would even put a sign like that in here.
Thank you. Thank you, Horace.
I take out from my backpack the 3 books that we were sent to return, and then quickly remember that we wanted to actually keep the second book, and I stuff that back in my backpack like, hoops, my journal. Okay, got our books.
He's gonna pay some steep late
And
fees.
I fling them into the library because I've never actually returned library books before.
I think that's how you do it.
So I just fling them in.
So
and they,
as soon as you fling the library books into the air, they are immediately caught in the air by what looks to be an unknown force and kind of slowly float down the rows. And as you've stepped in now, you're in the grandiose central area of the library.
I'm going to touch the hilt of my sword suspiciously.
You watch the books kind of float down rows and rows of finely oaked bookshelves that are each about 15 feet high. The edge of each of these oak bookshelves is gilded in gold etchings, and there are books of all sizes and kinds down rows and rows. You'd see probably about 20 rows of books in front of you. And directly straight ahead as the books fly down, they're following above the ground, probably about 10 feet. They're floating above a really nice crimson red carpet leading straight down and to the back of the library. So you see the books go about halfway down, turn right, and just flop down on what looks to be the edge of a marble desk.
Well, books are returned.
Yep, done.
Should we make sure to check in with, what was the lady?
Karen.
Karen.
Yeah.
Ander, you're so smart.
Yeah.
Considerate.
Thank you.
That's why I asked
Yeah.
him to join you two. All right.
Wait,
let's
hang
go.
on. You say join us two as if we are still apart from you and that you are somewhat elevated.
You are apart from me. I'm an individual. I matter more than you in some ways or shapes.
Pushing them as they
don't care,
talk
right?
in closer to the reception
So
desk.
Izzy pushes Horace and Sweeney, and they walk down, Ander leading the party down. As you guys walk to the center where you see that marble desk, you see a female tiefling sitting behind it. She has one monocle on. She's sitting there kind of perusing the books, organizing them. She pulls out an interesting stone. It looks like it's about the size of a hand. And on the inside of the stone is the etching of the eye symbol that you've seen all around the inside of this library. On the rug, on the exterior, which might have been that red orb itself, and she's kind of stamping the stone against the inside of the books. You see the books glow, and then they kind of float off and go to sort themselves. Now, for those of you who don't know what a tiefling is, tieflings kind of look like devil people, as the short answer. So she has kind of red, crimson skin. Over the top of her head, where hair typically is kind of reddish scales pulling back into horns, and some black hair going along down her back. She looks very presentable. She's wearing nice kind of dress robes that have been folded over nicely. She has almost, it looks like cufflinks at the end of each of her robes. And she's kind of sitting there calmly. She sees you walk up. She doesn't really look away from what she's doing and keeps kind of stamping the stone against the different books.
G'day there. Hi. We are the Velvet Thingies, and we we are here to return Worry Weather's books.
I'm sorry, who are you again?
I'm going to put my weenus up on the desk. That being my elbow.
For all of you D&D players, a weenus is a devil-looking type.
And I'm going to say to the tiefling, Horace is going to say to the tiefling, hey you. Karen. It's me. Prince Horace Kemp. I'm sure you've heard of me.
Prince Horace Kemp. She kind of pulls up a giant book and slams it down and like motions to the air, and a bunch of other like beautiful gilded books float down and slam down on the desk and open up. She quickly waves her hand across. The pages kind of fly open from front to back and close. And she looks down at them and then looks at you and goes, "No, I don't know you. No. Are you a prince?"
I'm going to wait outside.
Oh, Horace.
I'm so sorry. I take some statements a bit literal. I'm sure you're a very nice prince.
Well, I don't know what literal means, but I don't like being challenged.
Hey, Karen. Quick question before we leave. How do we get one of these things? And I pull out the library card that Mr. Worryweather gave us.
Oh, that's Cletus's card. Thank you. He had some books, I think, that were pretty close to being due. I think today, actually.
Yep, you've got
we returned.
both of them there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You would check those. You get a library card you could set up with me, or actually Destin personally likes to set those up with everyone. So if you want to check out books, you'll just sit down with him. He'll verify you are who you are, because you'd be surprised the type of people we have come through here. People who, take extra books or don't return books on time. It can be very worrisome.
I mean, that's just like a fine, right? It's like a silver piece a day if you don't return a book.
In some cases, listen, late fees can accrue in different ways depending on what you've taken out. Let's just say it can get pretty interesting.
Well, let's say a little more. Let's elaborate, because knowledge is the gateway to freedom. And
How profound.
Yeah.
yeah, so
That was very profound.
thanks. So what would happen hypothetically were a book not returned?
Well, if a book was not returned, it's a very rare case because you see these golden orbs above you. You guys look up and you see kind of these shimmering golden orbs. Each of them have kind of a spinning yellow ball around them as well. And see, when they act like that, they're there to track people throughout our library just because we don't have many people who work here. And when they know they have a book in their possession and they haven't checked out with us, well, they tend to make a loud, abrupt noise, and, well, then things get very interesting from there. We don't like mischief here at Destin's family library, so they keep things pretty secure. So as long as books are returned on time and people aren't trying to sneak them out, our little friends here don't get upset, and, good things happen, right? Knowledge is, what was that again?
The gateway to
Yeah.
freedom.
I'm a prince. We don't do that kind of thing anywhere in the kingdoms or queendoms or spiderdoms. I don't know.
Equality.
Yeah. I want you to know you can
chiefdom.
trust me, Prince Kemp.
Oh, well, I so far, I do feel like I can.
Thank you.
So you said there were some books to return? You said there were 2 books?
2 books. 2 books, and that's all the books.
As you say that, the gold orb above the yellow stone spinning around it starts to spin out more wildly.
Nope, just 2 books. I'd say.
Two more golden orbs kind of float in next to them, and their stone starts spinning a little bit more wildly. Karen definitely takes notice.
So, Karen, why are those doing that again?
As I explained before, they tend to gather where some people might be doing some mischief. As I said, we don't take too kindly to it. Now, you're certain it's 2 books, right?
Yeah.
Definitely roll a bluff check.
Where's bluff? Oh, it's deception now. 13. 13 is the bluff check. Can I fool the magic eye machines?
Unfortunately, they start to kind of screech and make a loud noise.
They're on the fritz, Karen. You gotta get that fixed.
Yeah.
Karen levels her eyes at you. Those were created by Destin himself, and they don't typically on the fritz.
Well,
Now,
to err is tiefling.
I'm sorry?
As human.
What was that first thing you said?
I want a library card. I slam my little fist on the marble. I would like one right now. Can we actually meet Destin? Is that like a thing that can happen? Like soon?
I don't introduce Destin to just about everyone, especially someone who might be lying to me.
We got a prince in our presence.
I have the ability to get one of my abilities as a noble is that I can secure an audience with a local noble.
Oh. I would present that as a thing.
Hi,
on my character sheet.
Karen, I'm a prince, like I said, and I would like to meet Destin to talk about princely things or noble things, and matters of beauty and health, whatnot.
So Karen flicks her hand again. Another large book sets down in front of her and opens up. It's on the outside of the book. It sees like rules and regulations around nobility. She flips through and she says, yes, here I do see that you are typically can make such statements to sit down and discuss of beauty and nobility. I'll certainly arrange an audience for you. Now the gold stones have kind of descended down above Izzy and are really spinning loudly above her head.
I need new friends.
Excuse me, miss. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the library?
I point to her accusingly. You're accusing her because she's a half-elf, and that is profiling.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We
We do not profile here at Destin's Family Library. We accept all creeds except for kobolds, but we are very open to all walks of life here in Willow's End, and is why we chose our place here for all the very interesting folks that come through, and of course it is very far from kobolds. Now, please, miss, if you could hand over whatever you might have in your possession, and listen, this is your first time here, and it is our goal at Destin's Family Library to make every visit here as magical and wonderful as possible. So if you could share that with us, I could possibly arrange a meeting with Destin.
Nope, charisma check. What is that, 6? 6 plus 2, 8.
So what do you say?
Knowing that it's an 8.
I've never been in a library book prison before, and I take out the book, but I don't hand it over just yet. I'm like, could I, about that card, get the library card now?
I didn't even know she had that book.
I I take 2 like side steps away from Izzy and just start whistling.
Okay.
I'll eat it.
I
swear.
see you have a very close connection to that book. That's fine. We'll take it to the back. I'll set you all down with Destin, and you can each get a library card. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so legal.
She's really got her heart set on this, guys. This is concerning.
We'll get really cool library cards. Who knows what they could access, in other towns.
Do you have any of those books that have pictures of naked people?
I would also like to understand where these books
Yeah.
are. in this-
Booby books. We want the booby books. And this one, especially this one. But also the booby books.
She kind of casually looks back to like an overpass. It doesn't have any labeling on it, but there's like a big, thick, black curtain in front of it. And she kind of leans forward to Horace. Yes, we do have that section.
Excellent.
But please keep that to yourself. This is Destin's family library.
I see.
Okay, so all of you, if you could please follow me, I'll take you back to Destin. Does that sound good?
Sounds absolutely wonderful.
Great. Sure. So you follow her. She steps out from her stone desk and kind of continues down the long hallway you guys took to get to her. You're passing more bookshelves and bookcases. You get to the very end of this vast library. To your left is like a spiral staircase that goes up to more books and more rooms. To your right looks like a nice private room a little bit off to the side. She walks up to it and points her hand forward, beckoning you to go through the doorway.
So, League, I don't know why I set up this meeting.
Getting library cards.
She wants this book of empty pages and this one shimmering page that's got something on it.
It's an important sacred symbol.
I wish you guys would let me in on these things.
Well, we don't know anything about it.
I know. That's why we should keep it.
It's empty pages.
To our trained eyes, but who knows?
Ysabel senses mystery, and I respect that.
Thank you, Horace.
You know what?
Also, library cards are really cool.
I'm a fan of mischief. Let's see what happens.
You look back at Karen. Her arm is still beckoning to the door. Excuse me, if you could please this way, and we can get this taken care of.
Keep your pants on, Karen. Gosh.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing. Thank you so much.
Okay. Before you enter, please take note again. There's a plaque above the door that is etched in the gold plaque itself. It says, I pledge to do no mischief. Do you all agree to do no mischief?
I've never done mischief.
What is mischief?
Yeah.
So I'm making a bluff check. That's a natural one.
What do you say?
Oh yeah, no mischief, nothing up these sleeves. And as I hold up my hands, like just 5 playing cards falling from my sleeves.
I believe you. I guess.
Those were there for a friend.
I'm gonna do a deception check as well. 14. I vow to do no mischief.
So she kind of believes you. I thank you for being honest. I see you can turn things around here in Destin's family library. And through the door, please. So she walks back to her desk around the corner, and you guys can walk into the room if you'd like.
I'll take my big fluffy hat off, feathered hat, out of respect for Destin, a fellow noble.
Okay.
I will wipe off my boots on the wall out of respect for Destin.
So you step into this office, you walk in through the walkway. The room's carpet is all in this red-crimson layout. The walls are rich mahogany wood. There are items and artifacts and baubles and things on every little shelf and nick and knack. Each of them has their own specific plaque beneath it that says, given by a mayor or given by a noble, or these all seem to be gifts to Destin. In the middle of this room, there's a big grand oak table with about 8 chairs on either side. The chairs themselves, they look like they've been kind of crafted out of suits of armor, like old metal armor has been kind of bent into the shape of a chair with a seat and a back. The arms of the chair themselves actually look like bent arms from a suit of armor, and they round the chairs themselves. The armor are decorated in beautiful jewels and gems and gold etchings. At the end of the room is a grand desk. books on either side, and sitting behind a big chair is an elf, a high elf, with long, beautiful, blonde hair, stands up and beckons for you to come in.
I'm gonna nudge Horace and just sort of ask, recognize any of these names? Pointing to the plaques.
Of course, all of them. Do you want to bluff that?
You can make a bluff check, sure.
That's a 12.
I guess that's an insight check on my
Yeah.
end. Yeah, alright, cool. I believe him.
So you totally believe that he knows all these people.
I'm impressed.
Hello, everyone, come in. Please sit down, take a seat. Karen has told me so much about you.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to mention, you see our little friends here, and you look up at the ceiling, you see another red orb with a gold iris is looking down at you. I have eyes in all different parts of my library.
Gross.
So when I say Karen has told me, I mean that figuratively, or however you'd like to assume it. Please, take a seat. I'd love to sort out this book in this library card business.
I'm going to put my weenus up on the table, and I'm going to go, hey, you.
Still talking about the elbow.
Still talking about my elbow for D&D players out there.
Are you sitting at the main table or talking at his desk?
Yeah, at his desk. I'm going to...
So you walk up to his desk
Yeah.
and put your weenish/elbow down on his beautiful desk.
Yes. And I say, hey, you, Prince Horace Kemp of the Kemp Estates.
Yes, Prince Horace Kemp. I know all about your family. How are you doing these days?
God, Destin, you know how to flatter me. They're doing very bad.
That's so terrible to hear.
My young friend had a favor to ask.
Oh, really?
We want library cards.
Library cards.
Yeah.
Excellent. Why? What are you looking for in my library, if I might ask?
Books? Mostly.
You know, sensual books and
Me and Ander
words.
were very interested in your sensual books.
Extremely interested.
Sensual books. Excellent. We do have a section for that. Again, keep it on the downloads behind a black cloak out in the front. Now, that one book, is it... I believe it's Ysabel, is it?
Ysabel, yes.
Please, can I see that book?
Okay, so I hand him the book reluctantly.
He looks at it and kind of flips through the pages, studies the front where you guys had seen the symbol and closes it. Now, you're checking this back in with the library?
On behalf of Cletus Worryweather, who couldn't be here today because he's
Cletus.
old and sad.
He gave us his card, which is how we got in. And
Can I see the card,
I
please?
hand you the card. Yep.
Looks at it over and flips it. Cletus, yes, he always seems to be interested in those cookbooks we have. I believe, did you return those at the front?
Cookbook was checked in.
We did.
Excellent, but this wasn't. So strange.
Picture book with the tiger was checked in.
Yep.
That's yes, of course. Keeps flipping through the pages and sets it down. Destin walks over and grabs a purple gem. The gem itself has little fish swimming inside of it.
Oh, wow.
Rubs the purple gem over top of the book. Sets it down. Watches the silver fish inside kind of swirl into the center and then explode out and die. That's
Your fish died.
Yes, that's very interesting book you have there. Please, take a seat. We can address this in a minute. If you'd sit down, we can go through the steps for setting up your library card.
Okay.
I'm not so sure that I want a library card anymore.
I thought you said you wanted to look at our specific
Ander, what about the
selections.
sensual pictures?
Sensual. Yeah, no, I'm just. I'm actually quite offended. Spending my life on the sea, I have grown a bond with these sea creatures, and to see you treat them like second-rate citizens was quite offending and insulting. And I don't think I want to have any business with this library anymore. And I believe Izzy's hunch was actually spot on. There's something weird going on here, and Horace, as self-appointed leader of this group, I think we should leave.
Now, I don't think you should be so hasty. I want to make sure that you have a delightful time here, and if that's getting you a library card, whether it's how you feel towards... Look, these fish have dedicated themselves to my library for quite a bit of time at examining rare books and things and baubles that are brought in here, and I'm sorry to see what happened, maybe even more so than you, but I'm just here to make sure you're having a good time.
I rolled a 21 sleight of hand. I'd like to take the gem with the fish in it.
Okay, you absolutely do. Destin
So after
does not
he
see it.
gestures to them and looks back at you, I just pocket it.
Okay.
Nice. Now I'm just gonna steal the book.
Now, are you absolutely sure you don't want a library card? I feel like this is a great opportunity. Our library is very well known.
I'll have a library card. Why not?
Okay.
Well, when you say why not, it begs the response, because of all the weird stuff?
Sweeney, you do weird things constantly. I don't question those.
But I'm not in a position of authority. I think that's permissible.
Okay, I see there's some issues here within the group, and look, we have a lot of great books on working together as teams and collaborating in one of our father sections. I can show you afterwards, but first, please, let's sit down. I like to do all my business sitting down. You can't tell because of my beautiful, beautiful hair, and winks at Horace.
Yeah.
But I'm
It is
actually
beautiful.
quite old, so if you guys could please take a seat. As he walks out from around the desk, you actually see behind the desk, there's the head that was behind him, is a head of a giant snake. And the snake it's just the head of the snake, and it's just kind of sitting there. It looks like it's something very personal. It has it in the back, but it's just there sitting behind his desk. So he walks out and sits down in one of the chairs at the center table and beckons you guys to sit.
I take a seat.
I reluctantly take a seat.
Okay.
I said.
I'm gonna just sit on the corner of the table.
So you actually sit on the corner of the table itself?
Yeah.
Destin kind of stares at you silently for about a good 10 seconds, just staring at you.
I pick my teeth while I stare back.
Sweeney's a stubborn old man. Arthritis. Gestures to
Do you know
him.
who gave me this table?
I'm sure Horace does.
Yeah. It was, Arfindel?
Offendel, the warlock of Greyhawk.
Yeah. I'm sure that's where this table came from.
No, of course it didn't come from Ardendel of Murdered. Never mind. Listen, please take a seat and we can begin.
I'm sitting down.
Fine. So now, for your application, I'll just need each of your names. He kind of slides some papers out in front of you. Please sign your names here, and we can imprint those on the cards, and then you can start checking them out.
Ander Silverfin.
Is there any fine print?
No, just please sign on the card, and we can enter it there as well.
Ysabel
right.
Buchanan. Signs.
Prince Horace.
Now, you
Yeah.
with the dirty, dirty hair, who's sitting on my fine table,
Yeah.
I have a question. Did you happen to see the plaque before you entered the room that asked that you do not do any mischief? Now, you are currently doing what we would consider here mischief.
Oh, well, that's a semantic issue. And because I don't want a library card and I'm not going to rent a book about etiquette, it's not really going to affect me. So I'm not going to look up the definition because I don't want a library card.
Okay. Well,
I love philosophy.
thank you very much. Well, now that I have you all sort of sitting here, are there any specific books you'd like to check out?
I think
The
Izzy.
booby books.
The booby books.
Yeah.
Yes, we would like them.
First, I'd like to address, though, this specific book that you've brought in here.
Oh, yeah.
Just a few moments ago, and now thinking on it now, I've realized that this book is very interesting because this isn't actually part of my library.
Strange how the orbs were triggered, even though technically it wasn't.
Oh,
even
they are drawn to magical books of all shapes and sizes.
Do it.
But no, this isn't actually part of my collection. Now, I would love to make this part of my collection. Unfortunately, there's only 2 ways for a book to be returned. See, you can't read the pages because only the one who checked it out can read it. So is the case with these magical books. And a book you can't read isn't very valuable to my library. So very simply, you can check in the book where you got it from. Do you remember where you got this book from?
Well,
It's Cletus's book.
yeah.
Yes, I don't believe that old man had checked this book out. That is not possible. Where did you get this book from?
You say not possible. Why? Can you elaborate on that?
These types of books are only gathered from specific older libraries. I believe actually from the imprint itself. Destin stands up and walks over and kind of grabs a different gem off of a shelf. This is a green gem. Inside is a frog, a black frog. Sets the green gem on top and rubs the gem across the symbol. The symbol imprints on the back of the black frog itself in gold, and then the frog lights on fire and burns.
Sir, you need to stop killing those things in your gems.
Our druid is upset.
This is what I expected. See,
Izzy's a little visibly upset.
this book belonged to the ancient library far beneath the library we are in now.
Can I reach over and like snatch the book from him and be like, so we'll return it down there, capiche?
Well, you see, this library is of legend. I'm not even sure it's still in of use, so you have to check it in to get it back out. Now, luckily for us, there is another way for this book to be released, essentially, from its owner and be able to be returned to us. Suddenly, the chairs themselves, the arms open up, and the metal hands themselves grasp each of your hands and hold you down. One hand reaches up to grab Sweeney. Sweeney, roll a dex for me.
Oh, that's not great. It's an 11.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it grabs you right, it grabs right on Sweeney's hand and pins you down to the table. All of you roll initiative.
Oh,
Oh god.
Oh,
yeah.
I've got a 6.
That's a nice reversal of last time.
Horace has a 6.
7.
So, who feels they have the highest one?
Well, I got a 22, so I think it's me.
Yeah, Sweeney with a 22.
I'm so good at rolling ones.
7.
Ander got 7. Horace
6.
and Izzy.
2.
Wow. So, Destin goes first. Now, as I was saying, the other way to free up this book is to kill the original owners. And seeing as I'm not sure that library is still in effect, I think it's easier just to take care of this here.
Well, who are the original owners?
Like I said, it's an ancient library far beneath ours. See, when we built this library, we built it atop another library, not that ancient library, mind you. See, it's well known in library building to build atop other libraries. It's very good real estate. You see, a library was previously there, build another library.
Yeah.
So the ancient library was here. It's kind of while the town settled. It was meant to be a very powerful library. Afterwards, some kobolds came in and built up their own library on top of that library, and well, that went about as well as we all know a kobold library would go. Anyways, we came along after the terrible wreckage and built our library on top of that. So you see, it's about 2 libraries down that I believe this ancient library is, but like I said, I'm not sure it's still in effect. So I think we're going to hold you here, and I'm just going to go over and grab this quick sword real quick if you just take a moment. It is Sweeney's turn.
I'm gonna make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Well, that's disappointing. So that would be a 5. Now I would like to express to him that we are willing to go down the 2 libraries to return it. However, I rolled a 5, so what I say is, we'll do the thing!
You'll do the thing.
We'll do the thing for you.
Excellent. Very eloquent. So he gets closer and kind of like picks up one sword that's on the side of the room. It's like a very shiny sword. Ander, it's your turn.
I try to struggle to break free, and
Now, before you struggle to break free, I want you to roll a d20 for me and make
Yeah.
it a charisma check.
charisma check.
So take your whatever you roll and add, where is charisma? There it is.
there?
Add whatever you roll, add that bonus to it. Tell me
Saving
what it
throw?
is.
Perfect.
14.
+1.
So 15?
15
So you struggle to push off and break free,
from the knight's hands.
but you suddenly feel very calm, very relaxed. You look down at your arm, and what starts etching into your skin is, I pledge not to do mischief in your arm.
Oh.
Destin kind of rubs his hand across a blade he has found, picks it up. The blade kind of shines. Ice is kind of pooling off of it in the air as he swings it. Ah, yes. You didn't check, I guess. See, we ask that people don't do mischief when they come to visit here, and we ask it more as a pledge. And since you are here and have pledged not to do mischief, well, there will be no mischief done. So Destin kind of starts to walk over towards Horace. Horace, it's your turn.
Destin, you're too beautiful to act this way. I'll tell you what. I'll take care of your library problem. I'll take care of it.
Roll a diplomacy check.
Well, it's a persuasion.
Oh, roll a persuasion check.
That is 19.
A 19. So what do you say again?
I'll take care of his library problem.
So Destin kind of stops for a moment, spins the sword in the air, snowflakes, beautiful snowflakes flying off the blade. Now, Prince Horace, I respect your family, and I respect any noble that graces this town, and honestly, it's great PR to have more nobles come here. So, how will you solve my problem?
Well, I suppose we'll go down there, check it out, see what's up, touch things with our swords, fastly, and do what needs to be done. I'm sure you would like to have access to that ancient library.
That is true.
Think about it, Destin. Don't you want more people coming to your town? Seeing your
Ancient
beautiful
library
face?
below Destin's family library. It would be like franchising, but free, because it's already done. Now, you'll be returning that book, though, once you've checked it back in.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So-
And we won't do it even a little bit of mischief.
Even a little bit.
Not one tiny
Not.
bit.
None at all.
Okay. So Destin snaps his fingers, the chairs return to normal, and you guys can move freely.
Does the mark stay on Ander's arm?
Yes.
Oh.
Not my first choice for my first tattoo, but
I can heal it if you want.
yeah, I would actually. I think I'll keep
actually, can she? Can I do it like an Arcana check just to take a look at it and see if it could be healed?
Yeah.
I think it makes you look
9
like it.
plus 6. So,
Is
15.
Is it painful?
It wasn't painful.
Okay.
It kind of etched in just like ink on your arm.
Okay.
15 Arcana. Would it be able to be healed?
You feel like it could be healed. There could be some kind of magical thing that could erase it, but you're not sure what.
Okay. So it's specific.
Specific, yes.
Interesting.
Now, the entrance to this ancient library, I'm unsure of where it is, but I do know how to get to the Kobold Library.
He turns to one of the walls and pushes aside a tapestry, and behind it you see an old wooden door with the emblem of a dragon on it.
This is your way in.
Cool. All right.
I think we should go.
Ander,
do it.
Ander is right as always.
Well, I'll be waiting here in my office. Please come and visit me again. And of course, really, when this is done, I did mean it. If you want a library card, we can certainly set that up.
Cool. Hey, Destin, real quick before we go down into like death, can I borrow that sword you got there, the snowflake blade thing you swinging around?
I'm sorry, this is a personal family heirloom. I won't be parting it, but thank you very much for asking. Sets it back down on the side of the room.
Ysabel brings up a good point, Destin.
Somebody didn't learn how to share.
We're going to be doing some hard work for you. Could we possibly have some help?
What do you mean by help?
I don't know, a book with pictures of naked people in it. Or money, or weapons for my friends here.
Yeah, there's so many in this room, and they're just sitting here doing nothing. But
We're doing
looking
you a
pretty,
huge favor.
But yeah, yeah.
You are franchising out my library. This sword, listen, it's a family gift. You promise to return it.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't laugh, Sweeney.
Roll a what's it? It's a deception.
This would be deception, yeah.
9. You hesitate maybe because I look young, a young kid handling such a big weapon.
I'll let you guys do a check that we haven't done yet, which is a group check, a teamwork check.
Okay.
So I'd like you all to kind of, and each of you will have to throw in why giving an item like this is a good idea.
We'll put it to good use, and we'll return it right after we're done. I got a 11.
Okay.
We might encounter something down there that's super dangerous, and in order to ensure that this happens, we might need a really big weapon.
I think it's only 4.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you said weapon, you're like, weapon! It's kind of startled Destin a little bit.
kobolds are known for their worship of dragons. Dragons, many of them breathe fire or acid or other things that corrode. Having a weapon that is cold or snowy by nature is very useful. Also, kobolds are known for their traps, and fire traps are able to be maintained much more than cold traps, so a sword that is cold is incredibly useful. Can I get advantage for that?
I'll give you advantage for it because you reference kobolds and he hates kobolds.
So 12, so that's a 16, and then the other one is lower, so the 16.
Okay, and Ander?
Not only does Izzy have an amazing track record of returning things, but also it looks quite cold down there, and much like, actually, in contrast to Sweeney's point, not only would we fight fire with fire, we should fight cold with cold. Therefore, maybe we're...
It makes a kind of sense.
That makes sense.
There's some basic logic.
We'll see how much sense it
reasoning.
makes to...
Nah.
I want to see
It's an 8. It's not a 3.
So what's your persuasion on your skills?
+1.
Okay, so you rolled a 9. Destin kind of nods a little bit at your last statement, but was pretty well convinced with what Sweeney had to say. All right, you can borrow, looks at Izzy, borrow this blade, and hands it over to Izzy.
Thank you so much, Destin. You will not regret this.
What this looks like is like a scimitar. The blade kind of bends and curls up. As you hold it in your hand, as soon as you grasp the handle, you see a specific type of snowflake edge up on the top. And as you look at it, it feels very familiar. It feels like a personal snowflake, like your snowflake.
I am unique, just like this snowflake.
And then it flutters away.
Do we, I guess, should we know the stats of this weapon?
It will
at
be,
this point, or
yeah,
should we
it'll
do it
be
later?
it'll be a scimitar, and it's a +1. And at any time, you can kind of, as you swing it, you can make flurries and kind of snow kind of puff off of it. Not a lot, but just enough.
For fashion purposes.
For fashion purposes.
For effect.
It's a very pretty sword,
It's a
but it doesn't
snowmatar.
look like it like destroys.
Snowmatar.
basically.
Snowmatar.
So a +1 scimitar, if you don't know, means that you have a +1 to your roll to hit, and also a +1 to your damage.
It also means it's magical.
It also means
Yeah.
it's
which
magical.
means it bypasses some defenses.
Some
Yeah.
things that would typically not get hurt.
This is also really useful because she has a scimitar already, so she has all the stats
really?
on here right now. Yeah.
Yes, 1d6.
Well, that worked out nicely.
Technically, this is +2 damage.
Excellent.
Or, no, it's still +1 because it's different thing. Okay.
Right.
So, we're looking down into, like, this dark walkway. Can I do one of my cantrips to produce flame so we have some light going down this dark...
So you light it in the office, or as soon as you guys step into the...
Step into the...
So you open up the door.
You see a long stone stairway spiraling down into the darkness. You feel a rush of cold air as you enter, and you smell.
It smells bad. It doesn't smell necessarily like death or anything, but it smells like old food and maybe like moss and things like that. It just... You can tell that somebody hasn't been here in a while.
This is like the opposite of deep gnome guts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how deep gnome guts are canonically, like, enjoyable to smell.
Yes.
All
So
right.
you guys head in?
I don't think I have a torch or anything. Although I do have a dungeoneering pack. Does that come with torches?
It does, yeah.
Okay. Can you light this on fire, Izzy?
Absolutely. I produce a flame and I light Horace's
Okay.
torch.
So you guys step through, you step onto the stairway, and are you guys making your way down?
Yeah.
Okay, so as soon as you do, Destin closes the door, puts the tapestry back. As you guys are walking, I'd like all of you to make a dex saving throw for me.
Oh, God.
Oh, good.
7 for me.
So 7 for you. Ander, what did you get?
No.
No. Well, yes, it's the same.
Yeah. 10 plus, 12.
Okay.
Oh,
Sweeney?
14 for Sweeney.
6, is it 8?
No, it's your dexterity.
My dexterity. I thought you were just... Okay. 4, 6, 10.
10. Okay. So as soon as you guys step onto the stairway, the stones of the stairs immediately drop to be slanted. Sweeney and Ander manage to catch themselves, but Horace and Izzy drop down onto the stone slabs and start sliding down at a high speed, like a slide down the actual staircases themselves. As you guys are sliding down, you come to the bottom of the staircase. The room opens up before you. You see what could be, it's dark, but like a vast, what looks could be a cavern in front of you, but you see floor beneath you as you're sliding down. As you come down to the floor, you hit what feels like metal, and a trap door opens up, and you guys drop down into a trap about 10 feet. You guys clang against the bottom. There's stone all around you. It's probably about 10 by 10, and you guys hit hard sand. You guys each take 4 damage.
Ooh.
Now, how has Sweeney caught himself on the side here?
So what? They're just cavern walls.
Yeah,
right?
it's just stone walls.
Gosh, how did Sweeney catch himself? Sweeney grabbed. Are there like sconces for like torches or anything like
Yes.
that? Yeah, he's grabbing onto one of those and sort of dangling.
And how did Ander catch himself?
Anders' hand axes were actually hanging out off his back, and they somehow just clung to some of the cabin walls. And he's just hanging there with his legs dangling. And,
Nice.
Yeah.
So Horace and Izzy are in the sand below. They look up, and you actually see the trap doors go and close above you.
Oh.
But as soon as they lock close, you hear, and you see that it's rusted. The trapdoor handle actually snaps off and falls down and lands right between the two of you, almost like severing you guys in half. So you can see the trapdoor is kind of broken off from maybe rust or something that.
What fell? It's like severing
The trapdoor itself, yeah. So the trapdoor is made of 2 separate metal pieces, like metal doors.
Mm-hmm.
They opened up when they dropped in,
Yeah.
and typically these type of trapdoors would lock and close and lock the people in there, but it is old and rusted, so it's broken off when it went to lock and dropped down between the two of you.
Got it.
All right, so as you guys are kind of gathering yourselves in this sand, you start to feel something moving beneath the sand around you. Little movements all over. And Horace, as you kind of move your arm around, you feel this as well. I'd like both of you to roll a perception check.
I feel tingles.
6, 8, or no, 6, 10.
I got a 14.
14. You see out of the corner of your eye about 10 to maybe 20 little red ants start to curl up around the edges of the stone, and you actually see a couple bones and skulls as you move your hand around in the sand protruding out. Everyone roll initiative.
We're gonna die! Good thing I could turn into a giant spider
I'm
and
gonna
make
live.
webs.
I'm gonna live.
I'm gonna live!
I like Destin.
He's a straight shooter, though.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode. We'll be back next week with the third part of our adventure. You can follow our guest, John Kim, on Twitter at G'dayJohnKim, and remember to look for him in the Librarians on TNT. As always, we'll be posting a new episode every week. If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com, that's arc with a C. Of course, we'd love to hear from you, so if you'd like to send us an email, you can do that at FridayNightQuests@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Partial Arc. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Yeah, I'm gonna loot the body.
So, how much experience do we get?
Well, now we have a skeleton army, so that's pretty neat.